Hey, hi media. We have Caps here from G2 for the media scrum. Media, as always, you can ask your questions using the hand raise feature. We will then call on you to answer your questions. Alternatively, you can ask your questions via the chat feature. So we'll go to the first question to Lucia.
Hello, Caps. I'm Lucy Weird, a content creator from Peru. Having G2 versus C1 has become a classic match at Worlds, and since this year it is happening in Europe, probably the audience was expecting a win from their first seat. So, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, hello. Yeah, I mean, definitely we felt like today we can beat T1, but we weren't able to. We got close in the second game, but we sadly got like caught off guard. They managed to catch us when we were weak, and I'm definitely disappointed. And the crowd was definitely cheering a lot for us, so it feels extra bad to do it in Berlin, but we still have another life, and we will do our best to make it as far as we can in this tournament.
Okay, moving on to the next question from Nguyen. Nguyen, do you want to ask your question? Okay, we'll move on. Gabrielle.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Marcelo from Big Gamer Agency of Esports. This question is, as a team, what do you think caused the loss in the second month against T1?
Um, I mean, there were definitely like a lot of mistakes. I think from my side, I think there were two fights at the end where I didn't manage to get the hourglass off before I got throughout the CC combo. I think they layered well, and that could have been a game changer for sure. I think a big one is when Jax TB'd behind us as well. I think if any of us had like looked around behind us or thought about it, we could definitely have played that situation way better, and it would probably have been a win in the end. But I think there were like so many, small mistakes and some very big ones as well. And I think if we had played better, then we could definitely have taken it. So we will take it as motivation to really play well in the last best of three.
I have a last question. With one chance remaining, how are you feeling mentally after this result?
Um, I mean, right now it definitely feels a bit heartbreaking, right? I think we definitely want to win here, but at the same time, we also know that we have to give it all our last game. This tournament can still just be at the very beginning if we make it so, and we will do everything we can to play well in our last best of three. So we are coming in with a lot of confidence. Definitely a lot of lessons we can take from T1 as well in this set. Um, and we'll see what happens.
Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the next question. Danemio from Eternal.
Hi Caps, I'm Dani Miao from Pop Team Latam. My question is, how do you reflect on your individual performance today and what would you change and expect for the next series on Worlds?
Hello. I think the individual performance, I mean, I definitely wasn't too happy with it. I think they managed to shut me down quite well in the early game. Both games they went for the gank, and especially the second game, I ended up losing quite a lot of health. So I think if I could play that situation better, I definitely would have. And I think in the later parts of the game, I think also I guess in the early parts of the game, I think sometimes we got a bit lost um, in the turret push. Like they managed to get first turret and they were pushing a bit faster than us and more accurate. So I could probably have called us to defend more. And then as I mentioned before, I think the later fights, I think some of them I managed to get one shot. So if I had gotten my hourglass off, or if I had zoned off the Jax when he TP behind us, I think some of these could have been like this game could have been way better.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One more question using the hand raise feature, and then we'll move on to the chat. So Yahoo Esports, if you can ask your question.
伟成可以问问题。
哦，不好意思，好，那我就是想问说，你们今天只差一步就拿下了第二场的比赛，那当时在击破3-0之后，你心里的感觉是怎么样？以及今天你的对手 Faker 拿下了他在世界大赛的第100胜，那会想与 Faker 说什么？那未来自己是不是有机会也能拿下100胜呢？
So, Caps, for today's game number 2, you're just so close to get the victory. So, how do you feel about that game? And also, Faker be able to get 100 wins today in World Championship. So, is there anything you like to share to maybe say to Faker? And also, could you imagine like maybe someday you also got the 100 wins here at World Championship? How would you like to feel?
Yeah, I mean, definitely it feels disappointing that we weren't able to close out the second game, especially, but even the first one as well. If we had played better, we could definitely have taken these games, and it just gives us a lot of motivation. And for me as well, I feel very motivated to do better. We still are at Worlds, and I'm grateful that we get another chance to really learn from our losses and improve. And I mean, I will wish Vega congratulations for his 100th win. He's definitely, a world champion many times, and I of course wish I can and win worlds as well. And getting 100 wins would be a good way of getting there.
那首先对于我们今天的表现，我还是觉得非常非常的失落的。然后同时，我觉得我们有很多的部分可以做得更好，不光是第二局，其实在第一局的时候也是。然后我也觉得这些会成为我们的更多的动力，在后面进行的更好。那对于我个人而言，这也会成为激励我不断前行的一些动力。那无论如何，我们现在还是依旧在全球总决赛的舞台当中，我觉得我们还是有非常多的机会去从这些失败当中去学习到更多的内容。同时，我想对 Faker 说的是，毫无疑问，恭喜你能够解锁这样的一个成就，拿到那么多的世界冠军的头衔，获得过那么多场的胜利，我也要以此为进步，去斩获更多的胜利。
好，谢谢。
上一场打韩华，你们后期的运营出现了一些问题，那么这一场其实再次也出现了类似的一些问题，或许 Caps 选手认为其中的原因会是什么呢？So for the last game against Hanwha Esports, maybe you guys made some issues around the late game macro, and maybe for this game against T1, the same thing happened. So what went wrong in the actual game?
Yeah, I mean, both games I think went quite late, and we didn't manage to close it out. Um, I think some of the games were definitely different situations, so like different issues coming up. But we will learn from those, and we will also be vigilant if some new situations happen, and we need to be aware, whether it be TV flanks or how we retake, especially like the dragons, and making sure that we have the side lanes pushed out before objectives. So I think definitely a lot of good lessons, but at the same time, there might be new challenges in our next match, and we just need to be ready for it.
那其实我觉得确实对于这两场的话，我们都是出现了在后期当中的一些问题，就是没有办法能够非常干净利落的把比赛给结束掉。但是我觉得我们这两场是有不太一样的一些情况，同时也出现了不太一样的一些问题。那这些问题都是我们可以从中去吸取经验，学习到一些新的内容的。然后呢，也让我们在更好的未来面对到一些新的情况的时候，知道如何去应对。比如说面对 TP 绕后的问题，或者说一些回城的时间，包括说可能对于龙的一些处理，然后包括说在拿资源之前的一些边线上的运营、边线上的推进，然后包括说我觉得这些各种各样的方面，对我们来讲都是很好的一些学习的素材。我们也会去进行很好的复盘，然后在未来能够尽可能的准备好面对各种各样的情况。
Okay, next question is from Miguel Menendez, or Mendez. What do you think G2 Esports mistakes were in this series?
Well, I mean, there were definitely a lot of mistakes, right? I think there were some longer games, and we could have done a lot of things better. So I think definitely we'll have to go back and watch it to see everything. But I think some key ones are definitely to look out for some of their swaps in the early game. I think they managed to go from having like good bot and top lane state to them swapping out of it, and also with Ari getting like a lot of turrets on side lane, because I think we didn't defend maybe once when we had tempo. So when they had tempo, I mean. So basically, making sure that we have the right lane assignments in the early game was a big thing that like cost us quite a bit in the early game. But I think later on in the game, it's a lot of just like basics, like having clear wards behind us, how we retake our jungle. I think we died sometimes, and making sure that we are on the same page, whether we want to fight or if we want to split up or what we're doing in the map.
Next question before we go to Sons of KS. So this one is from Nguyen. You were so close to victory in game 2 but couldn't close it out. Was it the clutch moment from Ono in the Baron fight, or is there something else you think your team could have done better?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think they did very well, right? They had like the Baron steal, they had the bot fight where I think they TV behind us, and I think many more fights. So a lot of fights just not going our way. And if we had played either of those situations just a little bit better, then I'm sure we could have taken it. So of course it feels bad, but at the same time we just need to learn from it and make sure we come in as strong as we possibly can on Sunday.
Next question to Sons of KS via the hand raise feature.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Brishan from Sunset KS. I'm sorry for the loss. How do you feel after facing Faker again, and in what ways do you think this matchup was contribute for your personal learning?
I mean, definitely, I feel good playing against Vega. I think he's, of course, like the best mid laner of all time. I think, and he is someone who will always look for ways out, and especially like these games when we are very far ahead, he can find angles, and his team as well will look for angles. So it's a lot of fun to play against him. It's a shame that we lost, and we will definitely look to do better next time. But it's a very good learning opportunity, and I'm sure we can take them on next time.
Okay, last two questions. Okay, last two questions now. So last two via the chat. Anna, her question is, looking forward to next match. What do you plan to do personally and also as a team to reset and prepare? Where do you draw inspiration?
I mean, I think for us, we will probably just be watching, of course, our games here today. And then we will be making sure to play a lot of games. And whoever we draw, we will try to. I think we get to see it probably Saturday evening. I'm not entirely sure, but it should be Saturday evening. So try to get as many of us of theirs as possible and prepare for what they like to do. And then we'll see how it goes.
And last question from Fomos.
프로게이머 생활을 하면서 계속 페이커와 대결을 하고 있는데 페이커는 본인의 선수 생활에 어떤 존재나 의미라고 생각하시나요? So it seems like in your pro career you continue to play against Faker. So what is Faker to you, perhaps in terms of how he impacted you in the career, or what does Faker's presence mean to you for you as a player?
I mean, definitely, I think I look up to Vega a lot. I think when he won Season 3 Worlds, that was like one of the first pro games I was watching, and I think seeing him win the title definitely gave me a lot of motivation to become better. And I mean, since then, I've tried my best to reach that level, and sadly we couldn't win today, but I definitely want to make it out of groups now and see if we can get our revenge later on in the tournament, because he's a very strong player, and it'll be fun to play against him.
페이커 선수 같은 경우에는 제가 항상 올려다보는 약간 존경하는 그런 대상이고요. 시즌 3에서 월즈 우승을 했을 때부터 제가 약간 월즈나 롤 같은 프로 경기를 보고 있었기 때문에 저에게 정말 동기부여를 주는 좋은 존재입니다. 오늘은 슬프게도 이기진 못했지만 저희가 꼭 스위스 스테이지 살아남아서 꼭 복수를 할 수 있는 그런 기회를 만들어서 좀 좋은 경기를 치러 나갔으면 좋겠습니다.
Okay, so that concludes the media scrum with Caps from G2. Thank you very much to Caps for joining us, and thank you to the media as well for joining us as well.
Thank you for the.
We have Gumayusi here from T1 for the media scrum. Media, as always, you can ask your questions using the hand raise feature. We will then call on you to ask your questions. Alternatively, you can ask your questions via the chat feature. So the first question will go to the chat, and it's from Esports Focus.
上场打韩华，你们的后期运营出了问题，这次再次出现问题，你认为原因是什么？ 저번에 한화장 있을 때 후반 가서 운영 부분 좀 실수가 있다고 생각했고 이번에 또 같은 문제가 나온다고 생각했고요. 이유가 무엇인지 궁금합니다.
한화전이요?
네.
한화전이라면은 썸머 플레이오프 말씀하시는 건가요?
或许是说的是夏季赛季后赛的时候吗？Esports 记者。죄송합니다. 이게 다 is for G2 interview. Yes. 죄송해요. 이게 네. 이거? Almost? 오케이. 작년 8강에 올랐을 때와 지금을 비교하면 팀 분위기나 경기력에 어떤 차이가 있다고 생각하시는지, 그리고 올해도 우승할 수 있는 자신감이 있을지 궁금합니다.
작년 8강이요. 작년에 BLG를 이기고 올라갔던 걸로 기억하는데 그때가 그래도 우승했던 시즌이니까 좀 더 경기력이 좋았던 것 같고요. 근데 분위기는 지금도 괜찮고 경기력은 더 끌어올릴 수 있다 생각해서 올해도 우승 도전할 수 있다고 생각합니다.
Okay, next question is from Miguel. Hello, Guma. How do you see T1's growth during Worlds? In what aspect do you think the team has improved?
안녕하세요, 구마유시 선수. 일단 T1의 그 월즈에서의 성장에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시는지 궁금합니다. 어떤 부분에서 뭐 좀 보완이 되었는 것 같은지, 아니면 어떤 부분에서 성장을 한 것 같나요?
하면서요. 첫 경기부터 지금까지.
네네, 월즈 여정에서.
일단은 뭐 TS전 졌었으니까 그때 경기를 비교해서 말해보자 하면은 그때보다 이제 교전 집중력이 좀 더 올라온 것 같습니다. 네.
So since we had lost our match against TS, I feel like compared to then, right now we're actually really good at skirmishes and just team fights overall. So I think that's what we have improved in the most.
Okay, we'll move on to people raising their hand now. So we'll start off with Chow.
Yes, congratulations to you and your team. With this victory, T1 will advance to the next round in Paris. And this also marks Faker's 100th victory at Worlds. Do you have any words for your captain's 100th victory? And also for Tess, whose top laner 369 said that he wanted to face against your team the most?
일단 승리 축하드리고요. 8강 진출하시게 되었는데 일단 오늘 승리로 페이커 선수가 월즈에서의 100전 우승에 달성했다고, 100전 승리에 달성했다고 해요. 그래서 페이커 선수에게 주장에게 한마디 하고, 또 혹시 8강 올라가서 좀 만나고 싶은 팀이 있는지, 일단 369 선수가 만나고 싶은 팀 중에서 T1을 지목했었거든요.
대답하면 되나요?
네네.
일단 상혁경 100승 축하하고 저도 언젠가 좀 따라잡고 싶은 기록인 것 같고요. 8강에서는 솔직히 좀 만날 수 있는 팀이 어느 정도 정해져 있다고 생각해가지고 뭐 누굴 만나든 상관없을 것 같은데 369 선수가 저를 만나고 싶다 했으니까 만나서 이겨주면 좋을 것 같습니다.
So I just want to say congratulations on your 100th win to Faker. One day I wish to sort of catch up to those achievements and milestones myself. And for who we want to meet in the quarterfinals, I feel like that's sort of already set in stone. There's really probably not much exploration for options for anything. So I don't think it will really matter in the end, no matter who we get to face. But since 369 said that they want to face us, it would be nice to face them and then just win against them. It would be good to see them.
Yahoo Esports 伟成。
好，那就是首先就是恭喜你们拿下今天的胜利。那在今天的第二场比赛的时候，面对3-0的劣势，你们那个时候是如何去稳住局面，并且最后顺利的翻盘的？然后还有就是说，其实很多人都会觉得说，你今天拿出的进的这支英雄在后期是不太有伤害能力的，但是在你的手中却并非如此，这是为什么？
먼저 승리 축하드리고요. 오늘 2세트 같은 경우는 보리에서도 결정을 했잖아요. 그 이유가 무엇인지 궁금하고 그리고 이런 챔피언은 사실 후반 가서는 캐리력은 그렇게 좋지 않다고는 평가도 많았는데 근데 구마유시 선수의 징은 좀 다르다 이런 평가도 있었고 그 이유도 궁금합니다.
일단 저희 역전할 수 있었던 이유는 바론 스틸도 하고 뭐 중간중간 좀 교전을 잘해서인 것 같고요. 진이 뭐 후반에 안 좋다는 이미지가 있긴 한데 저는 극 후반 갔을 때 꽤 강력한 챔피언이라 생각해서 뭐 괜찮다고 생각합니다.
首先，我们今天能够反转赢下比赛的原因是，我觉得我们首先是抢到了大龙，以及在我们在多次的交战中有着不错的表现。镜这个英雄，虽然说现在大家对他有一个后半没有办法 carry 的印象，但是在我看来，我是觉得他在后期的话是一个非常有可以 C 的这样一个很强势的英雄。
好，谢谢。
Okay, next question will go to Danny Mao.
Hello, Uma. Congratulations on your win today. My question is, you and Keria seem to dominate the bot lane today against G2. What do you think was the most important factor in winning your lane today?
일단 승리 축하드리고요. 오늘 같은 경우에 G2 상대로 구마유시 선수랑 캐리아가 바텀 라인에서 정말 우세를 보였던 것 같은데 어떤 요인으로 인해서 오늘 라인전을 손쉽게 이길 수 있었다고 생각하시나요?
일단은 G2가 좀 더 뭔가 그들만의 유니크한 픽들을 했을 때 좀 더 힘이 난다고 생각하는데 바텀 구도가 되게 무난하게 뽑혔기 때문에 저희가 좀 리드할 수 있었던 것 같습니다.
So I feel like
Thank you.
G2 did you need translation?
한 번 더 말씀해 달라는 거.
아니요. Did you need translation by chance?
Yes, please.
Okay. For G2, I feel like their strength really lies on their unique picks in the bot lane. And I feel like today we just had a really good matchup through the drafting, and that's probably the biggest factor that allowed us to win lane today.
真季、韩华和 T1 这3支 LCK 队伍都晋级8强了，你认为 DK 也能和你们会师吗？以及你们去年也是以3胜1负的成绩晋级8强的，你们认为你们今年还能复刻去年的故事吗？ 이제 LCK 세 팀이 모두 8강에 진출했습니다. 혹시 디브라스 기아도 8강에 진출할 수 있을 거라고 생각하시나요? 그리고 작년에도 3승 1패로 다시 올해도 작년처럼 3승 1패로 다시 노카웃 스테이지에 진출하셨는데 작년의 이야기를 다시 재현할 수 있을 거라고 생각하시나요?
일단은 언제든 저희는 우승할 수 있는 팀이라 생각하고요. 디플러스 기아는 잘하는 팀이긴 하지만 지금 남아있는 팀들 중에서도 잘하는 팀이 많기 때문에 어느 정도 대진운이 따라주고 본인들이 이겨낼 수 있다면은 뭐 올라올 수 있는 팀이라 생각합니다.
我觉得无论何时何地，我们 T1 都是可能去夺冠的一支队伍。那至于 DK 的话，首先我觉得他们表现是不错的，但是呢，还是要看一个他们的抽签的运气，要看他们去打谁，以及他们的选手们各自的一个发挥，才能知道他们能否晋级到8强。
Okay, we'll go over to Lucia now.
It's me?
Correct.
Okay. Hello, Gumayusi. I'm Lucy. We're the content creator from Peru. Congratulations on today's victory. Since Worlds is taking place in Europe, G2 must have had a lot of support from fans at the venue, but T1 got the victory. So, were you guys expecting to win today? And how did you guys feel the audience support for this match?
승리 축하드리고요. 오늘 이번 월즈는 유럽에서 열린 만큼 G2가 상당히 많은 팬들의 응원에 힘입었었는데 일단 오늘 같은 경우 오늘 경기에 승리를 할 거라는 예상을 하셨는지 그리고 오늘 관중석에 대한 T1의 응원은 어땠나요?
오늘 저희 충분히 이길 수 있다고 생각했고요. 관중석에 저희 팬분들도 많으셨고 모든 곳에 저희 팬들이 많다는 걸 알고 있기 때문에 기죽지 않고 잘 해낼 수 있었습니다.
So we came into today's match thinking that we definitely can win against G2 today. And we did see a considerable amount of our fans in the audience today as well. And I already know that we're fully aware that there are so many fans around the globe. So I think that's what really allows us to get even more energy. And, it didn't really bother us too much that there was any discrepancy between different the number of fans between us and G2.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got time for 2 more questions. So we'll go one in the chat. So the next one is from MGG. Hello, Gumayusi. Based on your experience and your Scrum results, were you expecting to win 2-0? From an outside perspective, your win almost seemed like an easy one.
안녕하세요, 구마유시 선수. 일단 월즈 경험이랑 뭐 약간 스크림 결과에 따라서 오늘 2대0 승리를 할 것 같았는지, 그리고 사실 저희 관중에서 보기에는 오늘 경기는 좀 약간 좀 쉽게 이겼던 것 같은 그런 느낌이 났었거든요.
네, 대답하면 되나요?
네.
일단은 뭐 스크림이 저희가 막 엄청 좋지는 않았지만 그래도 이길 수 있다고 생각했고요. 뭐 보기에는 좀 쉬워 보일 수 있었다고 생각하는데 과정이 그렇게 쉽지만은 않았다고 생각합니다.
So our scrim results weren't as great, but we did come into today thinking that we were definitely able to win. So I think from the outside perspective, yeah, it could have looked easy, just our victory today, but I don't think the process and the progress of getting there was that easy as it seemed.
Okay, and the final question over to Gabrielle on using the Zoom hand raise feature.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Marcelo from Big Gamer Agency. In the 2 maps that you played, what made the difference for you to secure the victory over G2?
일단 오늘 2세트 경기를 했을 때 오늘 승리 요인은 가장 큰 요인은 무엇이었다고 생각하시나요?
2세트 때는 일단 바론 스틸 했던 거랑 교전 잘했던 게 큰 승리 요인이었던 것 같습니다. 집중력.
And the last question is, what was the most challenging moment for you in the match?
오늘 경기에서 가장 까다로웠던 점은요?
녹턴 오리아나 연기가 제일 까다로웠던 것 같습니다.
For the first question, I believe that in game 2 especially, I think the Baron Steel and the way we fought and all the skirmishes, the way we played well during those skirmishes and team fights and just remained focused was the biggest factor which allowed us to get the victory. And for the second question, I think the most challenging part was the Nocturne and Ori combo.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you and congratulations, Gumayusi.
Thank you.
Okay, and that concludes today's media scrum with Gumayusi. Congratulations, Guma, and thank you, press, for joining us.